Hey friend, welcome back to Beautifully Unbalanced, the space where we stop pretending life has to be perfect and start embracing the beauty in the mess. I'm your host Destiny, and today I want to talk to the version of you who feels like nothing you're doing matters right now. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, those days that feel like a repeat of yesterday, where you're folding laundry, answering the same emails, doing the same stuff at your job, picking up the same toys, driving the same routes, and wondering if you're really making a difference in the world. I get it. I actually get it completely because I often feel like that most of the time myself. And I wanted to tell you, even in those ordinary, repetitive, nothing special days, your life still matters more than you think. I remember one week, everything felt the same. When I say it just felt like I was in a matrix of doing the same stuff constantly over and over and over again every single day, it just didn't feel right. It was like I would wake up, do whatever I needed to do, make sure everything was done, and then I would just go to bed. And then somewhere in the midst of that entire week, I caught myself thinking like, is this really my life? Is this really making a difference for other people or in other people's lives? And I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at the time, and I certainly don't feel it when it happens now. And it wasn't like I was unhappy, but I definitely felt very invisible, to say the least. Like my life didn't really have much impact unless something big and exciting was happening. And you all know something big and exciting is whatever. Maybe it's like a job promotion, or maybe it's like you graduating, or maybe it's like you are having a kid, or maybe you the feelings that you get when something major happens in your life and you feel like you are making an impact on somebody else. That's what I mean. But in the midst of all that and how I'm feeling now, I really learned that God works in small ways just as much or maybe even more than in the bigger ways. The small and consistent things that we do every day are where our roots grow. And when you look at a plant or you look at a tree, we can never see the roots. And I will use a tree more so as an example because they're big, they keep growing, but we don't see what is happening underneath that dirt or underneath the mulch that the trees are growing up out of. And that's where it comes from or that's what I mean by roots aren't flashy. But we know if you look at a tree, trees can be 7 to, I would say even more, maybe like 10 feet tall or more. But we don't see what is holding that tree together. And that is major. And that's what I mean by we always are planting smaller seeds where our roots are going to eventually grow, but nobody can see those roots. And I feel like our roots grow in small ways in our everyday routines where we do feel like we're doing the same thing over and over and constantly. So I want to talk about how we don't necessarily see our purpose in the little routines or in the little things. And most of the time, our purpose is hiding in our smaller routines or in the days that we feel like we're not really making a difference. So I wanted you to think about this here. If you ever gave somebody a hug and you don't even know where that hug came from, you just felt the need to give somebody a hug without even thinking about it, that probably changed that person's day. That we don't know what everybody is going through on a day-to-day basis. So a small smile, a small good morning, a hug, a quick text message to check in, the meals or the certain things that you do for your family members. I'm sorry. The meals that we make for our family members or the certain things that we do for our family members, that makes a difference. when you compliment somebody that you see at the store, or when you give them a smile, that makes a difference. Now, as far as a smile goes, I don't really be smiling at people. And I know that's so strange, and I want to, and I want to try to smile, but I don't want to seem weird. So I'm not really gonna push that, but I would start pushing giving out a hug to a friend or a family member, just checking in on people and making sure they're okay, or even, making something out of love. That makes a big difference in someone's life and their day. And if you notice, oftentimes on social media, you don't really see those small things that people do. I mean, I know there's a couple creators and influencers and channels that do show this stuff, but not all of them do that. And it's not going to be trending either. It's not going to be trending. But these moments are the kind of moments that change lives and also change hearts. They're the moments that God can use to shift someone's day and maybe even their life. And sometimes the simple, ordinary routine that you think doesn't matter, it does matter to someone else, especially if you're doing something for someone else. So I wanted to tell you about a time that I felt my day was so boring. It was so boring. I was just doing my regular routine. And like I said, in my routine, I always felt that I wasn't doing much of nothing. And I came to the realization that the certain things that I do that just come to me naturally, they help somebody else. So a while back, I had a day where, and it happens for me because sometimes when I don't do it, that's the time that I need it most. So for example, I'm normally the type to send a message out to let somebody know to have a good day, to check in on somebody, to ask them how they're doing, or even to let somebody know I love them. And it's mainly that, even if it's just a message, I just feel like everybody needs that, including myself. So I think it was like 1 week, I was having like one of those weeks to where it was just like the same thing over and over again. And it was a lot going on within that week as well. And I stopped what I normally do, which is checking in on others, sending them a good morning message and loving on them, right? And what happened was I didn't do it. And come to find out, that particular message was allowing somebody to carry on into their week. Even if I don't do it every day, I would normally do it at the beginning of the week. And they let me know, what you were doing was really getting me through. It was really getting me through. And what I had to realize was I wasn't just sending those messages out for myself. I was sending those messages out to let people know that somebody cares when nobody else cares. And it definitely makes a big difference. So what I do now is I do it anyway. It don't matter how I'm feeling. Normally what happens is I start my mornings, I get up, you do all your hygiene stuff. I read a little bit, and I also I try to listen to affirmations. And I noticed that within that routine, I get my mind right and I'm able to be level-headed. And when I'm level-headed, I can not just think about myself, I can think about others too. So that's what I mean by those little things that you do makes a world of difference in somebody else's life. And you may not notice it, and they may not tell you, but it does make a difference. And you won't know. You will never know. So that's why you just have to do it. You need to do it. Not only for yourself, but for the next person as well. Most of the time, the thing that we aren't doing that small thing that we're always doing, whether it's checking in, whether it's helping somebody out, or whatever the case may be, when we stop doing that, it only takes a brief second. I'm gonna be honest, it only takes a brief second to help the next person. I know some people try to take it overboard when they need help, but most of the time, it takes a brief second. And if it goes over that, that's okay too, because at the end of the day, you're helping somebody. You're making a difference. And what we may think, or what I may think, isn't a big shifting moment or I'm just doing this because that's who I am. It can change somebody's life. I'm trying to tell you. It can change their life completely. And most of the time, that's all people need. So whether it's a call, whether it's a text, whether it's just sitting with somebody in the moment, whether it's a hug, whether it's a number of different things that you can do to help somebody else get through their day. And I had to learn this because I'm a gift giver. I'm more of a gift giver than anything else. I'm more of a gift giver. I like to give gifts. But recently, money been a little tight. So I'm not really a gift giver anymore because that money's tight. But I can gift somebody my presence. I can gift somebody my love. I can give somebody a hug. I can give somebody something that they don't normally get on their daily routine. I can give somebody a smile, or I can give them a compliment. It's so many things that we can do for somebody else that is free, that we don't necessarily know until the next person lets us know, hey, whatever you was doing at that time was really, getting me through, just getting me through. And I would, and when you stop, that shifted everything. So yeah, just do the small thing. That's the gist of this podcast. Do the small thing. Again, whether it's a hug, text, phone call, just sending them something to uplift them, being in their presence, doing something kind for them. All of that is free, and you are making a difference by just doing that one free thing for the next person. So I want to also let you know different ways of how you can see the beauty in your life right now. Because I personally feel like we look at everybody else's life and it puts a downer on our life, but we don't know what the next person is going through. We don't know what they had to go through to get to the position that they're in. We still don't know what they're going through. We still don't know what they have to do in their day to day. So yeah, let's get into how to see the beauty in your life right now. So keep a gratitude list. I used to do this. I need to start back doing it, especially in the mornings, especially before I start my day. What helps? I can't really do it because my phone is my alarm. So the first thing I do is get on my phone and check my text messages or whatever. But I want to start keeping a gratitude list. And the gratitude list is not for the major things or the major blessings that you have gotten, but they're for the smaller things. For example, whether you got a cup of coffee or you made yourself a cup of coffee and that cup of coffee just hit you in all the right places, right? Or when you wake up, and some people wake up before the sun come up, some people, don't. But if you do wake up before the sun come up and you have time to look at the sunset, that's something you can be grateful for because somebody else missed the sunset. It's like, it's in those little moments. It's in those little moments that we don't really see beauty. Or when you make somebody laugh. Like when you make somebody laugh, you don't know. That's crazy. That's a big. Or even when somebody else makes you laugh. That's something to be grateful for. It's so many small things that you can be grateful for that we overlook and we look past because we move so fast every day that we miss the little things often. I would say we miss the little things quite often because I know I miss a lot of the little things. And then I'm trying to figure out why I'm feeling down or I'm not feeling up to par. But it's so many things that we do have to be grateful for. So many things. So I want you to try to keep you a gratitude list and write down the small wins, write down the small blessings. And I personally think that your day will definitely shift a little bit and it will shift for the better. Next is you need to start noticing your influence in someone else's day. And that goes back to what I was just talking about. A text, a kind word, a listening ear, a hug, all of that matters. All of that matters because everybody needs one of those or all of those. And that's just self-explanatory. So for example, you send somebody a text saying, I'm just checking in on you. They're like, wow, somebody actually cares about me enough or is thinking about me enough to say, hey, I'm just checking on you. You send out a kind message saying, for example, for me, what really gets me is when somebody compliments certain things that I do or compliments me in general. That's what I'm talking about right there. A listening ear. I'm more of a listener. I will listen. I will give you advice. You don't have to take my advice. However, I will also ask you if you want advice or if you just want me to listen. Either or. Letting somebody know you're proud of them. That's big. That is big. I don't think people really know how many people need to hear, I am proud of you. Or I love you. Or I care about you. All of those are major. And that will change someone's life for the better. If one person can just hear somebody say, I am proud of you. I am happy for you. You're doing a great job. Positive affirmations to the next person is major. And I feel like more people need to do it. So start noticing your influence in someone else's day. Or start noticing your influence in someone else's life. Because you are probably making a difference and don't even know it. But because you don't notice it, you brush it off. But that other person notices it and they need it. So definitely start noticing your influence. Next is always remember, God doesn't waste anything. And I know I said this in a previous episode, but I'm going to say it again. Over here on my podcast, I personally don't care what you believe in. As long as you are a good person and what you believe in has good principles and you treat people with kindness and you love on people the way they need it to be loved and whatever you believe in isn't hindering or hurting anybody else, you do you. Everybody has their own personal relationship with what they believe in. And because I have my own personal relationship, I'm going to talk about God because I am on my journey and that's what I believe in currently. And that's what I'm going to continue to believe in because it is shifting my life for the better. And leaning more onto God and our personal relationship, I'm talking about me and God, life is getting better and I'm seeing things differently. So don't judge me because I'm saying God. God is everything. So whatever you believe in, you can replace God with whatever you believe in. I wanted to let you know that even the repetitive days are shaping you, they're teaching you patience. They're giving you opportunities to plant seeds. They're teaching you how to manage your money. They're teaching you how to manage or deal with other people. Like every moment is a moment that is not wasted. And for me, that makes a difference. When I know that God wouldn't put anything on me or put me in any type of situation that would be wasteful or wouldn't teach me anything. That makes me feel better, especially in the seasons that are good, the seasons that are bad, or the seasons I can't even explain. That helps because I know everything is for a purpose. Everything happens for a reason. And even on my days where I feel like I'm not making a difference, I'm actually making a difference, whether it's for myself, for my family, or for the next person, or whether it's for my friends too. I'm making a difference. I'm making a difference. I can say that. I can wholeheartedly say that I'm making a difference. And even on the days that I need to rest and I need to recharge and don't nobody hear from me, that's making a difference. Because in order for me to be who I am, to be the loving, caring, always there for others type of person, I need rest. And rest is just as important. So understand that even on those days that you feel like everything is the same or nothing is getting better, you are being shaped. You are being taught patience. And you are being given opportunities to plant new seeds for what's to come. Boom. So again, how do you see the beauty in your life right now? It's just 3 simple steps. Keep a gratitude list for the small blessings and the small wins. Notice how you influence others. Whether it's family members, whether it's friends, or whether it's strangers, you need to notice that. And whether you are doing a good influence or a bad influence. And I'm hoping you're doing a good influence. Lastly, always remember that God doesn't waste anything. He doesn't waste resources. He doesn't waste away what his calling on, what he has for you and what he's going to do for you. Understand that in any circumstance or any moment, you are being taught, you are being shaped, and you are given opportunities to plant seeds. Now, I want to let you know, if you are in the middle of one of those ordinary days, do not underestimate it. And I'm talking to myself too, because I go back and listen to all my episodes. It's important. It's important for me to go back and listen to all my episodes, because not only am I talking to you guys, I'm talking to myself too on every episode. Understand that your life and my life is not on a pause until something big happens. It's happening now. And the way you show up today, even in the small, unseen ways, matters deeply. It matters more than you could ever imagine. I'm going to say that again. Your life is not on a pause just because major things and big things are not happening for you right now. It goes back to what I was saying, that God doesn't waste anything. You are being shaped and taught patience, and you are given certain opportunities to plant seeds. Going back to the tree had to be planted as a seed. From the seed, the tree grew roots. From the roots, it grew the tree. And if you look at a tree, I'm looking at a tree right now, and trees are huge. Trees are huge, and you want to know what's holding up the trees? The roots. So when you plant those seeds, do not think that your seeds are being unplanted for no reason. They're being planted for a reason. They're being planted so the seed can grow into strong roots, and the strong roots can uphold the tree that you are building. Now, I want you to hear me when I say this, and I want you to hear me so well that it just rings in your ears and you're like, oh my God, Destiny said this. Destiny said this, and I just knew this was going to change my whole perspective. I just knew. You are not wasting your life. You are living it. And the world is better because you're here. I'm going to say it again. Your life is not being wasted away. You're not wasting life. You are living it. And the world is better because you are here and you're in the moment and you're just here. You are here. Your life is so much better because you are here. Somebody else's day is so much better because you are here. So, thank you for hanging out with me Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for sharing. Because I know you're going to share it because this is a good one. This is another good episode. Yes, this is another good episode. So, if this episode spoke to you, please, please, please share it with someone who might need the reminder that their life matters too. And as always, keep embracing the beautifully unbalanced moments because that's where the magic really is. Make sure to make sure to subscribe, make sure to share with someone else who may need this. I'm doing it not only for me, but for you and the next person. This podcast is not only for me, but it's also for you and it's also for the next person. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.